highway is alive at all hours. Sirens cut through the night, tires scream against the pavement, and in the blink of an eye, a quiet shift can turn into a fight for survival. For the officers out there, nothing is routine. A car that refuses to stop, a driver who pushes harder instead of pulling over, a chase that puts every life on the road in danger. These are 5 stories of real pursuits, stories that show just how quickly control can vanish and how one wrong move can change everything. Number 1. What began as a routine patrol on Georgia 17 and Georgia 204 exploded into a high-speed chase that ended in a violent rollover and tragedy.
I'll be 1080. Georgia 204, Grove Point Road. It's a white Nissan Murano. Tall Metal John 712, DAJ 712.
Just ran from Chatham.
This vehicle just 1080 from Chatham.
Trooper Cadet C. Newsall and his training officer were monitoring traffic when they overheard a Chatham County officer calling out a fleeing suspect, a white Nissan Murano with a shattered rear window, speeding recklessly down Canebrake Road. The Murano bolted into a private driveway, tore across a backyard, and then shot back onto the roadway, continuing eastbound. Minutes later, the troopers spotted it barreling north on GA-25 before swerving onto GA-204. Lights and sirens lit up, but the Nissan refused to stop.
Did you initiate? We're 1080. Don't worry about who initiated. We're trying to chase this car right now. Go. Okay. Let's get your primary thing. Hold on, just let it go for a second. We want to get a little bit more speed before we try to hit this thing. Don't try to hit it this way. I know we're safe here on the side. Try to get behind it.
The pursuit was on. The suspect pushed the SUV harder, weaving through traffic, narrowly missing a Dodge Charger that was trying to yield. The Murano tore down GA-204 toward the busy I-95 corridor, an area crowded with foot traffic from homeless camps and heavy interstate commuters. Every second raised the stakes.
Stop, slow down. Go, get past. Okay, go.
With no stop sticks in position and no units nearby to box the vehicle in, the troopers made a split-second decision: execute the pit maneuver before the chase reached the interstate. Cadet Newsall swung in, tapped the rear bumper, and spun the Murano sideways. The driver fought for control, but lost.
We're setting up the pit. 204 eastbound. Hit it. Stop. Okay, hold on. Get in the middle of the road.
The SUV slammed into the concrete median, flipping violently end over end before landing upside down in the westbound lanes. The driver, 39-year-old Amy Humans Paget, who wasn't wearing a seatbelt, was ejected onto the asphalt. Troopers rushed in, calling for EMS and fire rescue. Paget was alive, barely, with a pulse and shallow breathing. But her injuries were catastrophic. They held her still, fearing spinal damage, until paramedics arrived. She was rushed to the hospital, but later succumbed to her wounds.
You good, right?
Yes, sir.
That. white spray paint?
Investigators swarmed the scene. Photos, measurements, crash reconstruction, every detail documented. Padgett's next of kin were notified. What started as another traffic stop ended in tragedy on GA 204, captured in brutal detail by the flashing red and blue lights reflecting off the overturned wreck. Case number 2. A cold January night turned into a nightmare pursuit that ended with both a squad car and a stolen SUV plunging into the icy waters of Lincoln Creek.
We got us on a white Kia.
Abduction.
We got the abduction Kia here. Gladham William. Lincoln William Boy 169 in pursuit. Eastbound on Hampton from Titonia.
Got that Nissan following. It's the Nissan that's going northbound 125.
It started with a stolen white SUV, the same vehicle tied to a terrifying abduction just one night earlier, where a 7-year-old child was briefly taken during a car theft before being found unharmed. When officers spotted the vehicle near 45th and Congress, they moved in for a stop.
So in pursuit of a white Kia Sportage, Lincoln William Boy 169 wanted for the abduction. Eastbound on Hampton from 22nd.
7217.
We are now setting south on 21st from Hampton. Unknown occupants due to tint. Speeds approximately 50 miles an hour.
But the driver, just 17 years old, hit the gas. What followed was a heart-pounding chase through city streets. Squad cars weaved through traffic, sirens blaring as the SUV pushed faster and faster, ignoring lights and signs. Officers knew the stakes. This wasn't just a stolen car. It was a rolling crime scene from the night before. The chase barreled toward Lincoln Creek, and in a split second of lost control, the SUV veered off the road. The vehicle slid down an embankment and crashed straight into the frigid creek. But the danger didn't end there. One of the pursuing squad cars also lost traction in the chaos, skidding into the water alongside the suspect vehicle.
Coming up to Congress.
Yeah, they go east or west.
Coming up to Congress here. He's losing control.
Creek,
Creek, bail!
I can't stop, bro! Fuck!
Adrenaline surged as officers scrambled from the sinking squad, rushing toward the SUV to pull the teenage suspects out before the icy water swallowed them. Both were pulled to safety and taken to the hospital under custody. A firearm was recovered at the scene, further cementing the violent potential of the stolen vehicle.
Fuck! You're on this. So you're responding or private?
Boss, my leg right here, boss. You okay? Good.
Hold officers, you're good.
In the end, no officers or bystanders lost their lives, but the chase was a stark reminder of how quickly routine patrol can spiral into life or death chaos. Before we dive into the next encounter, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of these real police stories. Case 3. What began as a string of 911 calls about a semi driving recklessly turned into a high-speed pursuit of a stolen bobtail truck that nearly flattened drivers across Cobb County. It was just after rush hour when dispatchers' radios lit up. A semi barreling down Dallas Highway, swerving into traffic, nearly clipping vehicles. One officer caught sight of it and moved in for a traffic stop. But instead of pulling over, the truck roared louder, the driver throwing the rig into a desperate escape attempt. The chase surged onto Barrett Parkway, the semi cutting across both northbound and southbound lanes like a runaway freight train. Cars scattered as the truck weaved recklessly, horns blaring, tires screeching, the officer's dashcam capturing the chaos in real time. As the pursuit unfolded, another piece of the puzzle dropped. The semi was confirmed stolen. What began as reckless driving was now a felony chase with lives on the line.
7514, he's now on the opposite lane of travel.
Every move the driver made was more dangerous than the last. Massive swerves, sudden lane changes, near head-ons with innocent motorists. Officers had to balance the urgency of stopping the truck against the very real danger of pursuing a semi through crowded county roads.
Yeah, boy, try to ram police vehicle. Continue. We're gonna notify GSP.
7514, he's now entered the other lane of traffic, and now he's just crashed back over to the correct lanes. So you can get a helo. 1022, he's wrecking. He just wrecked that radio.
The pursuit pressed on, every passing mile raising the danger, as Cobb County Police worked relentlessly to bring the rolling threat to a halt, finally forcing it into a compound where the vehicle came to a complete stop. Case 4. On New Year's Eve, while most people prepared to celebrate, officers in Moore found themselves in a high-stakes pursuit of a wanted fugitive with felony warrants, a chase that tore across city streets and ended in a dramatic crash. Traffic units had spotted 35-year-old Kayla Cervantes, already flagged on multiple felony warrants, driving through Moore. When they lit her up for a stop, Cervantes stomped the accelerator instead. The chase was on.
Get over. 40. West on service road, westbound. I'm through westbound on service road. Okay, we're getting on 240 westbound.
Dashcams rolled as Cervantes weaved recklessly through red lights, crossed into oncoming lanes, and even tore through parking lots to shake pursuing officers. Her driving grew more desperate by the minute, her SUV lunging through traffic like a battering ram. Officers coordinated, waiting for the right moment. Near 240 and May Avenue, they executed a TVI maneuver, slamming into Cervantes' vehicle to force it off course. The SUV tipped, rolled onto its side, and skidded to a smoking stop.
TVI crash, start medical. 240 in May, start medical.
Amazingly, no officers or civilians were hurt. Cervantes was pulled from the wreck and taken into custody. But the danger she posed was far more than reckless driving. Investigators found she had been planning to sell 30 M-fentanyl pills, meth, heroin, and drug paraphernalia, fueling a drug pipeline in the area.
Headquarters, she's out, she's 10-4. I'm good.
After being medically cleared at a nearby hospital, Cervantes was booked into the Cleveland County Detention Center, facing a stack of charges on top of her existing warrants. A night meant for fireworks and celebration ended instead with flashing blue lights and the collapse of a dangerous fugitive's run. Number 5. Evening traffic on Interstate 75 turned chaotic when a speeding SUV refused to stop for troopers, and the chase ended in a violent rollover in Franklin Township. It was just after 6 p.m. when troopers clocked a GMC Envoy pushing 82 miles per hour in a 65 zone. They moved in to initiate a stop, but the driver, later identified as Jennifer Wilson, kept going, ignoring lights and sirens.
In the right lane, moderate traffic, 70 miles an hour.
For several tense minutes, Wilson led troopers down the interstate, swerving and refusing to comply. Then, in a split-second loss of control, she veered off the road. As she tried to correct, The SUV flipped violently, rolling several times before slamming to a rest in the median.
Off the right side of the road. Right on 31. Right, 31. Start EMS.
Start squad, signal 5. Perfectly turned off the red. Rolled over about 6 times.
Dust and debris filled the air as troopers raced to the wreck. A passing nurse pulled over, joining first responders in rendering aid at the scene. Miraculously, Wilson survived with only minor injuries.
I think that was from the first time she cut off. I felt something, I wasn't 100% sure. I got gloves if you need some. I don't know if there's any knives in here or not either. Hey, what? Knives. I got some.
But survival didn't erase the charges. Troopers soon discovered Wilson was not only speeding, she was impaired. She now faces counts of OVY, operating a vehicle under the influence, failure to comply with a lawful order, and loss of control. Investigators also linked her to a hit-and-run earlier that same day in Montgomery County. What started as a routine speeding stop spiraled into a high-speed pursuit, a rollover crash, and the capture of a driver who should never have been on the road in the first place.